Hello, everybody. Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw. I am joined by the one and only broadcast bandito, Doobsnax. Hello, Doobsnax.
Thanks for having me, my friend. Excited to cast some games with you.
I'm excited as well. We're taking a look at the tournament that just happened, it's either yesterday or the day before in Japan. This is the high school tournament. I've got this first screen pulled up here just so I can briefly let everyone know that this tournament format is fearless draft. So what happens is the Pokemon you use in game 1 can't be used in game 2, and then that pool gets bigger and bigger and bigger. This is a best of 5 in the grand finals is what we're looking at. So if they happen to go to game 5, all bets are off. You can pick whatever you want. But this is that cool drafting system that we have wanted a few times, like in tournaments in the West, and I love that they've kind of thrown it into a lot of the TPC tournaments. So I'm going to skip ahead to our first game here, Doobsnax. I'm going to get my face out of this as well. Boing, there I go, as we're looking for game number 1.
Yeah, and look at those clean jerseys they gave these high school kids. Those look pretty darn good.
Dude, honestly,
I'm
this
not gonna lie.
tournament seems sick. It seems really, really cool. I gotta be honest, I'm always kind of jealous of how cool this stuff is in Japan. They've got a lot of really cool setups here. As we head into our first game between JP Apricot and Solo S School, we can see we've skipped pretty far ahead into the draft right here. Sorry, everybody, that's on me. Pikachu, Crustle, Slowbro. I mean, there are a lot of interesting picks here, and I think one of the most interesting things is no bans, right? There's like neither team is banning. It's just you're kind of banning against yourself.
Yeah, exactly right. So no EXs in the mix either, worth mentioning right off rip. That's why we're not going to see any of those. But I must say it's going to show where these teams favor their top picks, right? Because honestly, you kind of just want to win the early games and try and cheese one a little later, right? Sandbagging never seems to work as well as you might think. So these teams are favoring things like Pikachu and Sableye.
You know, it's really interesting. I remember way before Fearless Draft kind of came to Unite, I ran a tournament like this. I called it like the Summer Showdown or something, and I called it the Showdown format. And there always was a question as we head in here to game number 1 as to whether or not you wanted to sort of lead off with a really heavy, powerful team or almost lead off with a tricky team, hoping you can pull out an interesting win. I think this is a little mix of both from both of these squads as we have a Sableye heading across for an invade right away, and they're able to steal away that red buff.
And that's the value of a Sableye. Like, leaving with a buff is incredible. Of course, we always talk about the time that you're gaining your team, right? This Clefable can't scrap particularly well with the Sableye, and neither can the Eevee. So just cutting them off is just huge work. And don't tell me they got both. No, say Sylveon was able to. They did get both. No, they didn't.
No,
Clefable got the other one.
So
I was going to say,
close.
holy smokes, there's no way this player's this good.
Yeah, I mean, that's if a Sableye can invade and take both from 2 Pokemon on the other side, that's one amazing switch up. Absol running up here to the top path, trying to shut down this Sylveon that moved forward to take down Blaziken. It looks like they're going to be able to pick that up. So the buffs do go the other way in the end a little bit.
Yeah, at least they're stacked up on the Absol right now as they picked up theirs and were able to make an impactful rotation to the top path. And I mean, 4v2, you better be leaving with a KO, but I'll tell you what, that Sylveon caused some static in a big way.
Yeah, Sylveon does some amazing work, obviously. It recently got nerfed, but it's still pretty dang incredible. Absol moving in here, getting really aggressive. I love the picture-in-picture on that top and bottom path birds right there. I need to send a note over to Worlds here very soon, because I thought that was a good way to watch that fight, even though it can get a little close quarters. Lots of scores going in for Solo SQ. Solo S School, as they're looking pretty good at the start here, 0-40.
Yeah, up on the scoreboard, of course, a nice Sableye invade. This Absol doing work, getting a couple KOs early. But what really impressed me, or maybe stunned me, is the fact that we just watched a Crustle v Crustle in the bottom path. And I don't think I've seen 2 Pokemon on this, on the same match of a competitive bracket in a long time.
Oh, that's right. It didn't even hit my brain that was odd, but of course it's very, very weird seeing this here. It's a completely different format than what we're going to be seeing at Worlds in Honolulu here very soon, but it's really exciting, and I do love the idea that we're going to see a lot of different Pokemon here. There's one that I'm expected to see a lot in Honolulu if it's not banned out, Cerulege, but it goes down early in that fight.
Yeah, not enough firepower there for JAC to be able to really leverage a decent engagement by the Ceruledge, right? There was just too many players of Solo S there to kind of pick up the scraps after the Ceruledge engage and actually get a KO the other way. And this Absol is really leading the pack right now, level 8 Spragels.
Yeah, level 8, it might be 9 here before the objective. Running up top again, looking to pick up another KO. Really close to its level 9. Super oppressive. Solo S School is doing so great here in game number 1. I mean, look at the level leads. It's pretty disgusting. It feels like a solo queue game, honestly.
Nice engagement by the Sableye, and that's going to leverage a ton of stuff. Charging up the overheat, big knockout. This forces out the Absol Unite to just keep pushing, getting straight into the face of this Sylveon. Great sustain in that Pokemon, but I mean, there's just too much flying at them. Finally able to get that knockout and ultimately this goal zone, but that was all of the back of a nasty engage by the Sableye.
That was a very close. You could see they were discussing the scoring on that for a few seconds. They're like, no, you have to go first. No, you have to go first. No, I need Slowbro. I need you to score. And even then, it was really close because of how fast the scoring animation is for Blaziken. Amazing fight for Solo S School right there. They take the top Reggie. They're heading to the bottom path. They're in control of every single bit of this. It is 0-131 right now. JP Apricot, I mean, maybe they bit off a little more of the apricot than they could chew in this one. Maybe they were being a little too wild with this team composition, but they have a lot of strong Pokemon. This Ceruledge is almost online with their Unite move, but man, they are far behind. Another big KO as they're pushing towards the tier 2.
Forcing out the Sylveon Unite because of an Absol backdoor engage is gargantuan. Now they're going to get a KO streak of 2 because the Blaziken's there to pick up all the smoke. Absol's sitting there chunking away at this JP Apricot team. Reggie Alecki hits. This Clefable's not going to be able to do much as the Absol is just going straight for them. Don't overextend your welcome, Solo S School. Get your points and get out of there. Don't give them any experience back because you've got a huge lead.
Yeah, this lead is unbelievably massive. I don't even know. Maybe we don't even need to give them some advice because I think this is a full-on stomp right now. 0-286, a level 11 Absol and Blaziken on the map. Their Ceruledge still doesn't have a Unite move on the side of Apricot. I don't know what you do in a situation like this. This is so unfortunate. Solo S School is crushing the first game of these grand finals. Look at that Sableye even trying to use a silly Unite move there.
Yeah, just a goofy Unite move, but at least it allowed the Absol to come in unimpeded with theirs. Right now we're just jumping right in. Slowbro tried to use Slow Beam on a target, forcing out the Ceruledge Unite as they just picked it up, but they are knocked out instantly. Spragels, KO streak of 4. I was going to say 3. That is a 4-pack for the Blaziken, and that goal zone is gone again. 318 to Donut.
This is a rough game. This is a really rough game to start our grand finals right here. And I'm starting to think that Solo S School is actually pretty dang good at this game. I'm not saying JP Apricot isn't, but this first match is a nightmare for them. This is just every bad thing that could happen. I'm hoping right now that this was their silly game for JP Apricot. I'm hoping this was their, hey, let's pick a bunch of Pokemon that we kind of like, but we think will be a kind of a fun, silly team. Like, let's hope this is their messing around game. Because if this is their serious game, it's going to get really bad throughout this series.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, Solo S School now gets to pick up some more strong choices, right? Ceruledge is still on the docket for them as they are just another Absol Unite in the back line looking for this Sylveon target. Really might be the only opportunity for a difference maker, and the Rock Tomb cuts off the Ceruledge from getting a huge knockout on the Blaziken. A little bit of self-inflicted wounds there for JP Apricot. Do you know how much experience that level 13 Blaziken would have meant for Ceruledge? That could have been a tide-turning play.
Yeah, that could have been really huge. I think really well played by Solo S School. Like, we talk about this a lot, right? Teams that have an advantage and then they give it all away on a silly push. And I feel like Solo S School has intelligently not made some big mistakes like that. Ceruledge, on the other hand, I thought made some good plays there using the Phantom Force to avoid the Absol Unite move. But sometimes when you're this far behind, it's difficult to dig your way out.
It really is, especially when you have the pressure of a Sableye, right? Always stressing the goal zone or goal zones you have left. So really, all Solo S School really needs to do here is kind of turtle up. Now, obviously, they're so far ahead, you can push your advantage, but that is a great way to kind of, get caught with your shoes tied together and trip right before you get to the finish line, right? If I were them, and because I'm a big Sableye enjoyer, just let Sableye do whatever they want. Insulate a little bit, don't get too carried away, give away too much experience back.
Yeah, you can let the carries get kind of carried away, right? And Sableye can kind of do whatever it's looking to do. They're heading towards this tier 2, though. They're looking to make a fight here at 220. This actually could be huge for Apricot if they can get a catch right here. This is the best fight they might have in the game, and they are using their Unite moves like it's Rayquaza.
And one player down, Clefable immediately, but the Blaziken as well, down for 23 seconds. 3 players, though, for JP Apricot. Despite finding targets, the Absol continues going in. Now that's a Unite move attempt. That's an Electro Ball sorting out Sableye. There's 3 players down for Solo S School and Spragels. This is exactly what I was afraid of. This is exactly what I was talking about. And now JP Apricot has the best opportunity they have to try and take this Ray off the map.
If JP Apricot wins right here, this is everything that we've kind of been talking about all happening right now. Obviously, Crustal's there to try to defend. They're ripping in the central area. We're watching Slowbro for no reason at all as this Rayquaza is getting very, very low. The secure goes over to Apricot. No way. No way can this go the other way, dude. I'd be beside myself if Solo S School loses this. Holy.
That is the fattest of L's, and the Crustle wasn't even in the mix. They're already playing defense. That Sableye is going to try and do something squirrely, but it is not going to be enough. They are closing this gap. There's only 23 points that separate these teams. They're pushing for the goal zone, but everybody on JP Apricot's going back. This Sylveon's going to get their points in, and Solo S School just went from up by 300 to losing by 77. They're getting some points, and they're just tying up the scoreline pretty quickly. Rubble rousing, looking for the Blaziken, and their Blaziken's getting chopped up. They're put down. Sableye's getting cheeky. They've got 40 in pocket. They've got an opportunity to be a difference maker here in this game. Is anybody watching this goal zone? The Clefable is there. How's it going to end up?
Yeah, this is going to be really close. That Sableye could be a difference. You could also get just a few points in the pocket of Absol, try to sneak a goal somewhere, but at the same time, JP Apricot could make a counter score attempt as well. I think they still have a few Rayquaza shields. They do on Crustal, which is making their way towards their goal zone. If they're able to score right now, there is no chance for Solo S School. This is the exact right amount of points on Absol. If they can get it, they can make something happen. They do score. They're up by 5. Unbelievable. But now the points go in the main goal zone from Cerule Edge. Solo S School throws away one of the most unlosable games of all time. I can't believe it, Doobsnax.
I'll tell you what, if that was JP Apricot's troll game, they got away with one in a big way. Holy, it was like I was materializing their downfall by telling them what they should be doing in that moment, right? And like you said, the carries kind of got carried away. They made an unnecessary push on a tier 2 goal zone and got absolutely scrubbed for it. And look at JP Apricot. That is just a pop-off moment for sure. They're like, man, I can't believe they let us do that to him.
Honestly, that was the most solo queue game I've seen. That's one of those moments. I feel like I have made 8 million YouTube videos saying, please don't push this tier 2 at 230. It's like it's a horrible push. Doobsnax, I think you couldn't have served up a win for JP Apricot in any way better than that. Anyway.
No, you couldn't have. And really, what I was trying to stress in that exchange is you're so far ahead, this is where Sableye shines because you don't have to do anything anymore, right? You are so much bigger. You can sit on your goal zones. That becomes your healing factor, and you can defend. You can turtle up. And even if you give up, Ray, you're so much stronger. You can just focus on hammering out those shields. Meanwhile, Sableye is scoring the whole time. And if they're trying to deal with Sableye, they're not actually proactively winning the game themselves. That was like the exact dream scenario for a Sableye, and I cannot believe this is how it ends.
I mean, unbelievable. We're going to move forward here to game number 2. I gotta say, if I was Solo S School, I'd be so mad right now. Someone over there made the absolute worst call, and I mean, I can't imagine how they're feeling after a moment like that. That's one of those games that you cannot lose that match unless you force yourself to lose here. I'm going to look for game 2. It's coming close. Okay, good. I'm going to find it right about here.
I am still kind of stunned. I mean, They were up 318 points, right? So
Yeah.
let's see where they pick for game two again. This is that fearless draft you mentioned. So the teams can't pick Pokemon from that first game that they've already selected.
Yeah, so you can see all like the Absol, the Blaziken's not coming back here. On the other side, I mean, these teams there's so many Pokemon now. We've got over 64 something in the game. So there are a lot of great options still, even if you go through some of your favorite picks. Blissey, Trevenant, Serena, which is really popular in Japan, Inteleon or Shifu. On the other side, we've got Metagross, which is, I've seen getting more and more competitive play heading into Worlds. I don't know if we're going to end up seeing it. However, in a fearless draft, I think it's definitely a Pokemon that will make its way there. One that I'm really interested to see is this Goodra, especially with the build they've got. This is like a brawling Goodra build. It's Muscle, Rapid Fire Scarf, Focus Band. So this is like the auto attack monster in path early. It's so incredibly mean. I can't wait to see how it does here in game number 2. And Solo S School has they have a lot to make up for right now. They have to kind of like really rub all that egg off their face from game 1.
Yeah, try and get some of the food in your mouth next time, right? Just don't chuck it all over the room. Here we go. JP Apricot, your purple team. Solo S School, your orange team, taking a page out of your book and stealing your thunder. How you like that?
I like it quite a bit here. Pikachu's not in the match, so the thunder is stolen as we're heading up to the top path. Hoopa, Metagross. We've got Blissey, Serena on the other side, and Inteleon in this bottom path. Goodra all alone here as the Mime is heading over to do a little bit of an invasion. I think a smart move here because Urshifu is so bad early in that central area. If they're able to take something, it could be pretty big.
Yeah, they don't really have many Pokemon on the side of Solo S School that can contend with a Mime early, right? We still have like the Phantom that's there. The Sobble decides to stay in path, which could at least try and out-secure the Mime, which is having to rotate in. They're going to get a quality knockout here in the K opener to Solo S School. But has the damage already been done? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't able to actually see what happened in that central area there. If they're able to slow down an Urshifu, that's huge because Kubfu is one of the worst Pokemon in the game. Urshifu is one of the best, especially after the recent buffs. So if you could slow it down and make sure it does not make it on time for the 850 birds, it could be a massive win. And it looks like it's not going to be there right on time. It's going to be trickling in a little slow. They should get really aggressive here in this top path.
Yeah, I'm trying to, now that with this split screen, I'm trying to take a look where I'm going to go, and it looks like JP Apricot got the best of it in both paths here, Spragels. The Mr. Mime and Little Goomy putting in a lot of work, and the player advantage in the top path helped them as well.
Take a look at this. He's already got the nice hollow wear. I'm jealous, actually. He's got the nice hollow. It's sparkling, and he's moving in now. We do have the water bear. It's got the fists flying, looking for some KOs, not able to pick it up. So it looks like they stalled them pretty well, but now it goes right back the other way, and they're invading the central area of JP Apricot.
Yeah, that Lampent just became a free KO without a doubt, right? Now, poor little Chansey can't evolve yet. That's a pretty loose portal just to get the Sliggoo back through. And this is going to be another opportunity for them to take another buff, and they do. All of a sudden, Solo School looking like the real invaders, just throwing a massive counterpunch to the initial Mime invade.
Yeah, and I mean, this is why you want to slow down that Urshifu, right? Because once it's online, it's really difficult to deal with, and they've basically got a pocket Blissey. That Blissey is so close to them on the minimap, you can't even see the Urshifu. They are right on top of them, making sure that they can make these plays. After those recent Urshifu buffs, I think it's going to be tough to deal with, like shutting down this 2 Pokemon swing right here as they're looking for another fight.
Yeah, and they're going to be right on top of the Mime. Nice stun on the Urshifu to separate. Boosted auto is all going to put in a ton of damage. Blissey is separated from. They're going to feed up an egg to that Blue Shifu, who's going to be able to take all the birds. But no, looks like they're pivoting for an engage. They're actually going to leverage the tree so the Urshifu can get all this wild experience. Blissey's caught on the chopping block here. They're going to get beat down by the Matang. But here comes Zarina, Spraggles. We have an opportunity for a push out of Solo S.
Yeah, we're going to see what Solo S can do right here. After that Blissey goes down, they might want to just be a little careful here. The way they've been playing is really aggressive. I mean, I think it's unfair that I'm calling it solo queue play because they're a coordinated team. They're making some really incredible plays. And I think just because they have the name Solo in there, it feels like that. Like it's like incepted into my brain. But they are playing really aggressively with a lot of ego as they are moving towards this tier 1.
Yeah, and a lot of egos almost cost them right there. They almost lost all their high-level characters again, Spragels, on one of these sieges. KO Shrika 2 for the Blue Shifu as they step back in because the Blissy's there. Nice Unite move, and I believe eclipsing 20 strikes. It does the Rapid Strike Urshifu. Nice little pot shot from long range by the Sniper Inteleon. And now we're starting to see the same thing as game 1, 102 to Donut.
Okay, so if game 1 is any indicator, I feel like Solo S-School, especially mechanically, is a stronger team, right? And I think they probably are also a better team macro-wise. I think they just got really cocky, really overconfident, and made some rough plays. But I do feel like Apricot is looking better here in game number 2 than they were in game number 1 as they pick up a KO on the Trevenant. Zarina with a double KO, looking to make it a triple with that Bliss assistance. Metagross with the Unite move can't make it happen. There's the triple for Zarina. They're trying to chase it down, but no, it looks like it's able to make it out. Goodra with the massive whip, and they do finally take it down. Blissey goes down as well for a double for the Metagross.
Metagross getting gargantuan here. What a counter strike. What a whip by the Goodra to say, nah, we're getting some of this back right now. If they can lock up this Registeel, that's a great spot for JP Apricot to be in.
Yeah, I mean, this is really nice for Apricot. They still have a 0 on the scoreboard. Look, they cannot score against Solo S-School, but they said it didn't actually matter last game that we didn't score a single point. In fact, maybe it helped us a little bit. As soon as we got Ray, we had all these goal zones to work with.
Yeah, all the ones they needed too, because they were down by so much. All right, Blue Shifu stepping up. They're still sitting on the goal pad. Nice rings unbound. We need some big stuns, and there's 3 players locked down immediately. Here comes Chandelure with the overheats, and they catch a target here. They're going to keep pushing on. Blue Shifu is in the back line. 29 strikes. Trevi Knight pop showtime right on the Blue Shifu in tandem with the Chandelure Unite flipping the lights off and burning the building down. That's another KO. So listen, JP Apricot might be behind a little bit on macro, might be a little bit behind on this mechanical play, but they are hammering them as a team right now.
Yeah, I think what I'm seeing from JP Apricot is they feel like they are better than the sum of their parts. And of course, I don't know enough about these teams. Maybe I'm being unfair. I'm not trying to disparage any of these players. But it feels like when they work as a team, they're making the Megazord. And then we've got Solo S-School that's just a, team of superstars all playing together, looking for some big ego plays like this. Urshifu once again is trying to make something huge happen, but might get caught for it at this tier 2.
Nice spacing by the wall. The Metagross is on the chase. They're stomping on this Inteleon. Quality KO as Blue Shifu again has to go back across the wall, and there's no rapid strikes for them. They're running away right now. That pressure is becoming too much, and this Metagross is kind of feeling it at this point in time, Spragels, because they're on the chase down.
Yeah, Metagross is actually kind of a fun, almost counter to Urshifu, right? Both of them want to brawl, and the longer they brawl, the bigger the shields are, but the bigger the recovery is for Urshifu. I think they kind of fight well into each other in a weird way, but almost for a stalemate as they pick up a nice KO on this Goodra, pushing towards this goal zone. I've still got to point out, while they're looking for a score here, and we've got the Hoopa Unite and craziness is happening, we still don't have a single point on the board for JP Apricot, but they are able to pick up another 2 KOs.
I'll tell you what, they don't save their Unite moves for Rayquaza. They pop them anytime there's going to be some smoke. And we just saw the Urshifu Unite, the Rings Unbound Unite. I even saw, we saw the Chandelure Unite. I mean, the only player with 1 left on Apricot is the Mime. And we have only the Bliss Assistants, Trev and Zarina on the other side. So at least going into the final foray, Solo S might have the artillery advantage.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how this is all going to play out. These fights have been really even this game, a lot more even than last game. However, still on the scoreboard, not a single point for Apricot. They're going to need to win, Ray. They did it last time after winning a big fight on a tier 2. If they can counter punch Solo S-School again, let them make a mistake, draw them into a bad fight, which seems like Solo S-School just wants to take every fight they can, they might be able to pull out another victory right here.
Nice little Horn Leech on Mr. Mime. Is that enough to catch them out? No, it is not. 10 seconds till Ray, Spragels. And of course, we know JP Apricot's got some work to do on this scoreboard.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, it's only 102 points, right? 2 tier 1s up, so they actually could peel off and score, and it wouldn't be that crazy as we're getting ready for Rayquaza right here. Really aggressive positioning here from Solo S-School as they are kind of holding a lot of this pit. Overheat onto the Inteleon. They're in a ton of trouble, having to use their Unite move just to survive.
That's amazing. What an exchange there. All right, showtime. Eject button over the wall. They're going straight for the backline here. Blissey, Trevunite is popped. They're trying to get multiple targets. Bliss assistance on top of the Trevenant. They're moving back through and they're trying to get away. But it's the Chandelure finding all the targets. Overheat over the wall, because they want more action. Inteleon's still hanging out. Nice snipe shot to balance these KOs out. Now, finally, we have a devolved Hoopa that has to shrink back down from that Space Beast. They're going to have to reset themselves. 2 players down. Blue Shifu pivoting to the middle. Solo S going to try and hold it down. Metagross sees that there's people in the pocket. Zarina using their Grassy Glide to sit on top of this Metagross to try and keep them down. Nice Unite move to keep them from engaging on top of the Rayquaza. Rayquaza is so low, but nobody's looking to close it out. This Hoopa's making its way around, and no way they let the JP Apricots cheese another one out from under them. They're going to make a play into the middle. They're going to try and get it. It's going to be slammed down and taken by the Inteleon. Solo S going to put an exclamation point on that one.
Big plays from Solo S School right there. That's Serena zoning the enemy team out so well in that final fight. And you saw that, holding that Unite move, waiting for the perfect moment. And I think they knew that on the side of Apricot, that that's what they were looking for. Metagross couldn't make their way all the way in and try to stop Rayquaza because they knew Zarina was going to cut them off in that moment. Incredible plays. I thought Apricot played that really well. I have to give it up to Solo S School. The Inteleon never backed. It had 0 HP. It stood there. It continued to snipe shot. It continued to fight. It helped rip Ray. They played on a razor's edge. And now look at this. Not a single point scored before Ray for JP Apricot last game. And now not a single point scored all game. What is this madness? It's like 5-12 to 0.
Listen, I mean, JP Apricot lives and perishes by that Rayquaza, it would seem. Solo S School, I'm glad to see them rebound in the way they just did, right?
Yes.
They had a horrendous game 1, and the rebound here is what they needed to maybe bring a little bit of balance to how their whole team is feeling. It looks like they're starting to get back up on the energy. They're feeling themselves, and I think they now are starting to lead. Yeah, we're the better team here. We really just gave away that game 1. Let's just stick to our plan and execute. We're going to be all right.
I gotta tell you, I mean, look at that Metagross, by the way. 88k. I thought their Candle did pretty well. Zarina with only 28,000 damage. I mean, talk about a solo queue Serena that you might have on your squad. But they made the plays when it counted. Some really huge pickups right there. And yeah, Solo S School, they absolutely changed their gameplay. They didn't throw the match away at the end when they were way ahead. We're gonna head into our next fearless draft right here for these two teams. We have JP Apricot locking in. Looks like they got Inteleon. Ooh, they got the Char, Tree, Zororark, Eldegoss. On the other side, we got the Gary, Mamo, Greedent. Let's go from Solo S School. I cannot wait. This is going to be exciting.
Yeah, Solo S School, I think now they're starting to reach their cheese pool, right? Like, let's see if we can leverage behind Gyarados. Of course, Mamoswine, much more impressive than maybe people historically give it credit for, but you can't deny how fun it is to watch a Greedent run around.
It's just the best. It's so fun. It's so chaotic, and this is a super aggressive, super chaotic, really in-your-face team. So I'm very excited to see how they bring this into this game. I think what we've seen between game 1 and 2 is that JP Apricot actually held game 2 pretty well, but I do feel like Solo S School is the team to beat, and it's gonna be hard for Apricot unless they continue to make some really strong counter punches. And we did see them really adjust and make great plays in game 2. However, we saw Solo S School adjust in game 2 and just basically not throw the game away. Here we are, game 3. JP Apricot, your purple team. Solo S School, your orange team.
We just have this Charmander up here waiting for the Gospel to rotate up, give them a little support. Of course, insulating another terrible early Pokemon in the game, Zorua, making sure that they don't get invaded on by this tiny little Squovit that is now just wreaking havoc on these Bunnelbees, sending them down the path and kind of taking some for themselves. They are getting the break speed off them a little bit, though. I mean, Sobble is nothing to scoff at in the early stages, but they are going to make it across, it seems.
Yeah, I think the thing with Greedent is a lot like the other invading Pokemon that we talked about. If you're just super annoying for a very long time, you've kind of done your job as Greedent. As we head up here to the top path, we've got this Gyarados looking to evolve early. Obviously, if they get an assist or a KO, it's Gyarados time basically right away right now as we head towards these birds. Big time Night Slash, and a lot of that heads over to the side of Apricot. They've got a Charmeleon.
Yeah, maybe playing more conservative than I would have thought out of Solo S School, and perhaps it's because they have the Gossifleur and not quite the Eldegoss yet, but I would have loved a heavy engagement to try and hit that Gyarados, because that could have been a huge difference maker and would stress this Apricot squad quite a bit. Now the Zoroark's on the chase, finding its way into the danger noodle there. The Dragonair jumps over the wall, goes for, like you said, that big Night Slash just to get away. But meanwhile, Solo S School's taking everything on the side of the Apricot's map.
Yeah, they are grabbing this central area. We see Greedent running back over to the other side to see if they can stop someone from JP Apricot from doing the same thing. It's kind of funny when you just head over to the enemy central area and they just head over to yours. It's like, why'd we even do this?
Yeah, exactly. Why did we do this way harder than we had to and walk a lot further of a distance? The thing I'm keeping my eye on, Spragels, Magikarp, level 5, hasn't evolved yet. Looks like they might have missed that great window of opportunity to get the early Gyarados online. They just ticked over through farming, but a little bit later than maybe they could have gotten it if they were more aggressive in the early stages, which I can't believe I'm saying that about Solo S School right now.
By the way, I have to say this. I didn't even notice this. JP Apricot has scored a point. So they're 77-13 right now. That's weird, but for the last 2 games, they have not scored points basically at all. JP Apricot now actually in control. Charizard already level 7, and we know how crazy Char is right now. Char could just be the difference maker of this entire match.
It absolutely could. Zoroark going straight after the Dragonair. Going to use that Night Slash, put him down to very low HP. But can they close? Great work by the support core of Solo S School between that Piloswine and Eldegoss to make sure the Danger Noodle doesn't actually go down. Zoroark uses the Night Slash but can't quite close the door, and you have to tip your cap to those 2 players. Wow.
Yeah, that was really impressive right there. So we got the Inteleon snipe shot on the side of Apricot. And now we have this being chipped up here. The Dragonite looking for a possible secure. We see this actually a little bit out of Japan. Kabi-chans at AO's Cup had this strategy. Very easy stuff, right? You could just start the rip. Dragonite has one of the best secures in the game. You're going to need to either take that Pokemon down or burst that thing down really fast before it can charge up Hyper Beam.
Going straight for the Earthquake on top of the Eldegoss, going to try and body block a little bit from the Snipe Shot Inteleon. This Piloswine looking a big old pile of dirty laundry, doing a lot of good work despite how nasty they're playing right now.
Yeah, ooh, nice Snipe Shot right there. Almost gets the farm too, as Greedent is doing what Greedent does, trying to steal everything on the map and be super annoying. We have JP Apricot moving through their own central area to the top path. Charizard, however, is ready to go. It's level 9. It's got that Unite move online, and it can fight. So we're going to have to see what they want to do with this next objective. On the other side, Gyarados still only level 8, so it's not going to be able to unite in this next big fight.
No, but it's looking for a target. Nice Hyper Beam by the Dragonite to try and get some of that. It gets picked up, put down by Charizard quickly, and they're getting burned, forcing out the Unite move to crash lane, but didn't quite get to their pad. They just clearly used it out of just nothing but desperation. Now the Zoroark Unite is popped, and they're looking to get on top of this goal zone. JP Apricot taking a page out of Solo S School's book and putting the pressure on.
Yeah, JP Apricot's getting really aggressive here, way more aggressive in game number 3. Greedent moving in here, trying to make something happen, and even though they had that really strong play, really aggressive play on the side of Apricot, it was completely shut down by Solo S School right there, not able to get the advantage they wanted out of their Unite move. Yeah, they picked up Dragonite, but Dragonite's back.
Dragonite is back. Great hollowware on the Dragonite as well. Don't want to let that go understated with the little fuzzy winter hat there, like a Russian emperor or something. Looks pretty cool. Anyways, we're working through the top path here as we're for some reason watching the Charizard farm in the middle. Nice little Horn Leech on the Greedent to separate them, but the Snipe Shot goes wide, and of course that means the Greedent is going to be able to cause more headaches up here.
Yeah, we do have the goal zone broken by JP Apricot, so they can now move over and start something in this top path with the knowledge that it can walk to a tier 2, and somehow they could continue to have a score advantage, something that they have not been able to figure out how to do throughout this entire series until the Rayquaza has hit the map. We see this Greedent just running them around in circles. Incredible stuff here, wasting so much time. Charizard now has the Unite. The question is, when do they want to start this fight? They know that Solo S School is coming to the top path right now. Mama with a massive Ice Fang.
Nice Cotton Cloud Crash out of Apricot to top off the team as they're sitting on pad. Mamoswine uses their Unite move to pop around on the goal zone, but they can't convert. Now the Zoroark has 2 players in their sights. Immediately the Eldegoss is down with help from the tree. Zoroark is peeling back. They're getting bullet seeded down straight in the back, just peppered by this Greedent, as the rest of the team has to just take a deep breath and wait. JP Apricot, another moment which looked like just the spark of creativity for their squad, shut down by Solo S School.
Solo S School playing these fights extremely well, and JP Apricot, I mean, they have a lot of good moments, but the counters on the side of Solo this time, I think, are incredible. Every time JP Apricot wants to move in, Solo S School just disperses really quickly, lets them waste their big moves, and then comes back in for the win.
Nice engage there by the Dragonite and Greedent and Mamoswine to be able to get those out of the picture, and it looks like they're immediately pivoting to go score in the bottom path, so I like this move. And meanwhile, what's Greedent doing? They are escorting with a KO streak of 2 this Regieleki into the top path, forcing all of Apricot's resources up there. Now the Mamoswine is able to Earthquake in, Ice Fang down, KO streak on 3 for the Greedent. They're still going. These bullet seeds are endless, these cheeks are full, and they want all the smoke in the world.
No.
Nice slash, making a KO streak of 4. No! Oh, that could have been the Greedent Penta in the most aggressive Greedent play I have ever seen. Shades of Gatlu out here. Solo S School Greedent player dominating.
Dude, I'm kind of mad at Mamoswine on the side of Solo S School right there. That was a Greedent Penta fighting over this goal zone. How unbelievably fun was that? And now Solo S School, you know, they've kind of been in control of this match a little bit for some of the fights, but now they're also in control on the scoreboard. And look at the positioning. I love the positioning from Solo S School. It's insanely aggressive. We saw how it didn't work in game 1, but look at this right here. You fell stinger right into a Greedent. You're in so much trouble, and it's so hard to punish this thing for making these plays.
Listen, they're taking all the smoke. Solo S School going straight after him. Cotton Cloud Crash is going to have to top up everybody under the sun for the Apricots. As Solo S School is actually getting the script flipped on them. They're finding targets very quickly. Now the Gyarados is caught out. They're getting burned down. Charizard coming alive and finding targets. Not to mention the power of the snipe shot playing a long range. But it's the Greedent show now. They're still in the back line. Trevin is going to have to space them out to the best of their ability. Greedent's trying to work their way in. So does Eldegoss. That Rayquaza is getting so low. They pop the Unite move. They're going straight in. Can they get it? Eldegoss secures it for Solo S School, and they've got that little pop-off moment. They've got the shields, and they've got the eye on the prize.
Wow. I mean, if JP Apricot got, you know, a crazy lucky swing in game 1, I gotta give that crazy lucky swing over to Solo S School right there. Eldegoss with the secure on that Rayquaza was a little criminal right there. That was JP Apricot's game, but unfortunately for them, Solo S School says we both get a little bit of luck here in this tournament. They are gonna take game number 3 right now. I mean, great fight from Apricot, and it really was incredible positioning and a beautiful Char Unite that set all of that in motion. Unfortunately for Apricot, they couldn't close it out.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, think back to game 1. This is kind of how Solo S School lost game 1, right? They're able to kind of cheese it out, as you mentioned, with the Eldegoss. But, you know, overextending for no real reason and disjointedly is how they lost the first game. This way it still breaks their way somehow, but it's a hard lesson for Solo S School to learn, it would seem, right now.
Yeah, I mean, Solo S School actually... Looking at this, I guess the scoreline, it should still be the same. It should still be 1 game for Apricot and 2 games for S School. It's just funny how those games actually turned out, right? That was just a very fortunate moment for Solo S School. They played a really fun game. I still think it really is like Solo S School flexing on Apricot, but Apricot taking incredible moments to counterpunch this team. Another awesome game here in this series. All right, Doobsnax, here we are, game number 4. The smallest pool of Pokemon available between these two teams. We can see that Solo S School has saved Ceruledge for this final game, but we have huge picks. Umbreon, Blaziken, Dodrio for Apricot.
Really some heavy hitters, which just shows the depth of the Pokemon pool that exists in the game now, which is great, which allows for this kind of fearless draft strategy to really go deep into the weeds. So I'm excited to see what these teams can pull out in this game 4. Apricots, they need to win this to keep this tournament run alive.
Yeah, this has just been such a cool series. I'm so glad that we decided to check it out and kind of see what was going on with it, because it's really been a cool show with a different format. for everyone behind the scenes, Doobsnax and I are, we're getting ready for Worlds and we're doing some casting practice together. And I thought it'd be fun to check this out. But these games have been absolute bangers, really interesting, really wild finishes. As we head here to game number 4, JP Apricot, your purple team, clearly the underdogs in this series against Solo S School, your orange team, who have had some pretty dominant games with some shocking finishes.
Without a doubt. And look at the beautiful hollowware that Solo S School is taking into this final game. We saw the Pirate Lucario. We have the Chef Snorlax looking to cook. And of course, the Dodrio, that beautiful Dodrio hollowware on the side of Apricot.
I have to root for the Dodrio regardless, but especially when it has the correct number of hats or bandanas as we have on the side of JP Apricot. Got this Dodrio playing in the top path so Blaziken can have center. Ceruledge in the central area of Solo S School. Ceruledge is interesting because we've got Worlds coming up, and I wonder if any teams even let Ceruledge through, and now we get to see it here twice.
Yeah, it's really good. And I'm excited, for these teams to pick it up and see it in the hands of the best players going. Umbreon, another very strong Pokemon that I expect to see banned or picked quite a bit on the world stage. No exception here in this Fearless Draft mode.
Here we are in the top path, getting ready for these birds at 850. Blaziken moves in, pulls him to the side, the big-time bitter Blade, and they move in to pick up 2 KOs. Let's see if they can make it 3, trying to chase down Blissey. Not quite, but they get the double KO in the top path.
That's a heck of a statement to make real quick. No, they didn't get the Blissey. Blissey scrambling to score some points to get some value, but look at these stacks going in, getting bigger, getting bigger. We see that the Blissey ended up going down anyways to the Lucario picking up them on the backside. And now we're moving to the middle to see if we can have some pressure on this Combusken. Umbreon tries to cut that off. Espeon steps up for the help, but there's Snorlax. Nice little heavy slam. We've got the portal down, and we've got another player down for Apricot.
Jeez, this is just so brutal here from S School. It's a level 7 Ceruledge already. I mean, you even saw the Phantom Force able to just dodge the damage there from Espeon. Didn't even matter. Look at the level lead already skyrocketing. It's 8 right now at the 8-minute mark.
Yeah, and Solo S School is now moving as a huge 5-person unit. Nobody downstairs. They want this goal zone, and they're going straight forward. Blissey doesn't know what just hit him. A Fire Spin is chasing them down, and that's enough space for the goal zone to be gone. However, Ceruledge keeps the pressure. They see this Dodrio, and they see an opportunity. Can't quite get the Wild Farm out from under him, but I think that's a pretty effective push for Solo S.
Yeah, it's looking great for Solo S right now. They could head into the central area of JP Apricot if they would like. As we see down in the bottom path, they're moving here with the Ceruledge. Luckily, we've got the Blaziken online at level 8. It at least has the ability to fight back against this, but we're about to have a Ceruledge Unite move here soon.
Yeah, and if you're missing overheats, that's not a great place to be. As Ceruledge is farming up, but playing super far forward is the rest of Solo S School, just waiting for that Ceruledge to be able to make an impact. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the Fire Spins out of the Delphox have been picking up multiple characters at once. Ceruledge goes straight in. The Fire Spin is chasing, but they're knocked out before they get spun down. Going back over the wall is the Dodrio just running away as Umbreon is have to pivot back. Ceruledge through the wall, goes back, pops their Unite move, KO Shrika 2. Now they're beating the brakes off this Blissey. Umbreon is trying to support just a little Dipsker do to keep them out of dodge. The two are just schmoving over here between the Hoop and the Ceruledge, and this is going to be more KOs and more KOs as we have the Snorlax sorting out on the backside and Ceruledge taking care of everything up front.
And while this is all happening, Blaziken is down, has to head back, now try to defend the top path. Goal zone gone. They're going to get this Reg Ice for free. Complete domination from Solo S School, which we've kind of seen in a few of these games. Some nice plays from Apricot, but it just feels like Solo S School always has their number. Big time Delphox Unite. Almost takes down the Dodrio. Regieleki will not walk, though.
Man, if that Lucario's Aura Cannon actually went through pad, I think they might have been able to have a successful push. But it went just a little wide, didn't hit a single mark, so nobody could really use that and put pressure on. Because of it, Solo S School, retreating away, maybe for the first time in 4 games, deciding to bide their time and play a little bit more reserved as they have the championship on the line.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been so impressive out of Solo S School right here. We've got the Delphox. They've got the Mystical Fire Mystical Fire, not Flame Charge, Mystical Fire Fire Spin, which is so unbelievably annoying. Once you hit that level 11 breakpoint, the resets on Fire Spin are crazy. You throw it basically, on no cooldown at that point. Just a couple seconds between fire spins. It's going to be really hard for JP Apricot to deal with, especially Pokemon like Dodrio. It just shuts them down completely.
It absolutely does. You can see Delphox and Snorlax chosen to be set up Pokemon, right? For the Ceruledge, for the Lucario. We're using our fanciful fireworks. Nobody's there to watch them, just like that picture on your phone from those fireworks you saw in 2006.
Thought you liked that, but fair enough. Heading up to the top path right here. Lucario, once again, he soloed the Regieleki before. It looks like they have an opportunity to make that happen once again. Ceruledge scoring in the bottom path. Nice 40 points. All the while, of course, Lucario gets to do whatever they want. We can have a Ceruledge Unite move right here to hit multiple members of the enemy team, but they decide not to. Instead, they port top.
Portal top there is just a great way to save the team, get them on top of another objective. Good counter scoring, at least out of the Dodrio, to try and shrink this lead a little bit. But really, Apricot has a lot of work to do with 4 minutes-ish left in this game.
I like keeping Blaziken here to just take this objective really quick. We're going to have to see how hard they push, though, because they could easily push this in. Big time Snorlax Unite. Here comes the Ceruledge Unite. Hits 2. Looking to make something happen. Espeon takes them up into the air. The Fire Spin moving in. Bliss Assistance onto the Blaziken. Blaziken actually peeling away, and this is an amazing defensive play by Apricot. What a play, wiping out almost every single member of Solo S-School, and these are the plays we've seen them make. They haven't been the aggressor, but they've been the counter puncher, and they've actually had some big moments because of it.
Yeah, I mean, it started with that big Espeon Unite, which stalled everybody up and allowed Blaziken to get into the backline, get on top of the Delphox, and really cut off just that long range, kind of I was saying, those setup moves, right? The Fire Spin is a setup move. The Heavy Slam is a setup move for Ceruledge, for Lucario. But because they were able to get into the backline and shut down that setup Pokemon, Ceruledge didn't have as much space to work, and they find themselves getting completely rinsed.
Yeah, and not only did they get completely rinsed, I mean, we saw a lot of levels transfer over to the side of Apricot. Things are pretty close to even right now. They've got the 12 Dodrio. In fact, 13 on the Dodrio and Blaziken. They are out-leveling Solo S-School.
And that's all a device of Solo S-School on that push. I was giving them credit before for backing up, and they immediately said, oh, we heard the caster say we're backing up, never again. And they pushed forward, full heart can't lose type action, and they got beat down.
I think they just like to fight. I think that's what it is. They like to fight. They know they're good at it. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but most of the time it does. As we get ready for Rayquaza, 30 seconds until Ray. We also have a Regieleki that Solo S-School is positioned pretty well for right here. However, they could kind of move away from this and make a play somewhere else. It looks like they're actually not going to focus on it at all. They're already way up on the scoreboard, just taking time right now to farm as much experience as possible and get ready for this fight.
Everybody has their Unite moves, and we have 5 seconds left. We've got our positions that we want, and now we just wait for bated breath for the engage.
Yeah, the question is, who's going to start this thing? And the answer is probably Solo S-School, right? Now, they're going to look for the members of JP Apricot. They know about where they are in this little choke point right here, but the question is, how are they going to start it? Solo doesn't need to be the one to take the fight. As they find the Espeon, they're kind of dashing around, throwing their Focus Blast, throwing their Tri-Attack, just seeing if they can get someone on Solo S-School to make a play, maybe make a mistake.
Well, Lucario's going for a big-time flank. It looks like things are starting to collapse. The Fire Spin, if it hits, might be the engagement target they want. Ceruledge, Bitter Blades into the backside. Dodrio can't hit with the Tri-Attack. Nice little Phantom Force to displace Umbreon. And almost spun up is the Blaziken. The Snorlax is there. Heavy Slam. This might be the follow-up engage, but Snorlax is there by themselves. Lucario charges up the power-up punch. No target there. We are really waiting this thing out, Spragels.
That's right. They're just draining the clock, and that's something Solo S-School can do right here, being so aggressive throughout these games, but they know that Apricot needs to make the play. Dodrio hitting the Tri-Attack. Still no fight engagement has happened. They're touching the Rayquaza. Still nothing. Lucario charging a power-up punch, but no fight has started. Umbreon getting caught right now. This could be it. Snorlax Unite move. Lucario moves in.
Nice little unite back the other way. Cerulege looking for that action. One player down. It's the Dodrio. Rings run bound. We have to go for the stuns in the middle. Apricot needs this Rayquaza. They're starting to work on it. It's getting chipped up, charged up, overheat kick. Can they get it? No, secured by Solo S School as they 10 Jack Queen King ace all of the apricots, and that tree is withering away as Solo S School is looking to win.
That's right. It looks like they're going to be taking game number 4 here, taking the win in the grand finals. And I got to say, for how aggressive they've been, for how much they want to outplay and ego their opponents, they played that fight perfectly. They knew that they could just let them come in. They did, and they were finally the ones to throw the counter punch, and it was a haymaker, massive knockout, and a win for Solo S School. The team that I think after watching, they've been the team you would expect to win this whole thing.
Yeah, they played great with only a few, well, quite costly missteps, but credit to them. They kept their composure when it mattered. They actually took that Ray fight very slowly and pretty calculated, forced in apricots, and when they did, they threw everything in the kitchen sink right at their chin. Were able to get that full team wipe, get the Rayquaza, and get the championship.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. I thought they played amazingly. They did have some moments where Apricot, had some really nice plays to sort of take advantage of how aggressive Solo S School was, but it did feel like it was Solo S School's tournament to lose, basically. They were in control of just about every match in this series. It was a very cool series to watch and get to do a little bit of casting with you here, Doobsnax, getting ready for Worlds.
I really appreciate the nod. Of course, everybody out there, please tune into Worlds. We've got some great competition going on. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Hawaii, my friend.
I'm looking forward to seeing you as well. I just pulled something up on the screen that was the wrong thing. Hey, there I am. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for listening. Congrats to Solo S School. And that was a really cool tournament. Let me skip ahead real quick. Is there anything cool they show? They give them something cool? They get to talk on the microphone? What do they got? They're talking.
It's pretty cool mic.
It's a great mic. Hot pink. I love it. They get some. Ooh, they get cool trophies. This is sick.
That's a sick trophy. Look at that. That's gargantuan. It's the size of that kid's chest.
What a cool event. This is very fun. All right. Yep. That was it. Enough of that. See you at Worlds, everybody. Goodbye.